what grade you're in, just say, Sunny, 10 years old, or something like that. Go. Oh, I can't hear you. I'm all about voice here. Yana 7. Okay. Jeremy? 7th grade. Oh, I have a very special place for anyone whose name is Jeremy. Okay, I'll tell you why. Go ahead.
Jeremy 13.
Another Jeremy. That would be Jeremy 7, Jeremy 13. Okay.
Edward 9th grade.
Edward, nice to meet you.
Aaron 9th grade.
Aaron, 9th grade.
Joey, 9th grade.
Joey, 9th grade. Wow, a lot of 9th graders.
Matthias, 11th grade.
Matthias, 11th grade.
Michael 9th grade.
Michael, 9th grade.
Aiden, 9th grade.
Aiden, 9th grade.
7th grade.
Your name?
Hey.
Hey, oh, such a pretty name. Yes. Rachel, 9th grade. Elena, 9th grade. Thank you. It was really nice meeting you all. Trust me, I have not remembered all your names, but please forgive me. It's just a lot. So I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Rebecca Moran. You can call me Miss Rebecca, Mrs. Moran. I'm currently attending this church since last year, and I want to thank you all for inviting me here today. Just a little bit about myself. I live in Flushing, Queens. My husband, Peter, and I have 3 children. Jeremy, 13. Who's Jeremy 13? Right? My Jeremy is 13 years old too. And I have Ashton and Oliver, who are 10-year-old twins. And they're all autistic, and they also have ADHD. So I am not an expert in autism or ADHD, but I had to learn really quickly because I had to raise my children, and I was really lost. So I hope I can share some of my experiences with you all. We are going to do a little exercise later, really quick, so pay attention, okay? Okay, let's go to the next slide. So we're going to go with neurodivergent. Can everyone say neurodivergent?
Neurodivergent.
Oh, I didn't hear you very well. Neurodivergent.
Neurodivergent.
Okay, does anybody know what neurodivergent is? Have any idea? Is it a new word, or have you heard of this before? Oh, you heard of it. What do you think it is?
I think that it's the diversity and how different brains are.
Oh my gosh, that is like the perfect definition. Yes. Differing mental, let's give him Jeremy.
Ooh.
Neurodivergent, in the dictionary it says differing in mental or neurological function from what is considered typical or normal. So a lot of our children who were introduced today are neurodivergent, and I think most of you here may be referred to as neurotypical. Okay, so do you see the difference? Divergent and typical? Okay. Does anyone name some neurodivergent disorders? Oh, come on, don't fight to answer these questions. Anybody have any idea? Jeremy 13. Give me one neurodivergent disorder. We discussed some today. Oh, bipolar could be, yes. What else? How about autism? Right? Can we go to the next slide? So who's neurodivergent? Here are some neurodivergent. Autism is one of them, okay? ADHD is one of them. I'll probably be speaking more on ADHD and autism more because my children have them, okay? But these are some. Let's go to the next. So here are some examples. Next slide. I try to be a little fancy with my slides today, so forgive me. We have dyslexia, dyspraxia, dyscalculia, Tourette syndrome, ADHD, autism or autism spectrum, or ASD. Sometimes we call it ASD as well, okay? And Down syndrome as well. These are just a few examples, but neurodivergent is like an umbrella. And under there, autism is just one, okay? Because you will see many different types of people under this condition. Okay. Okay. So we're going to talk about some of the traits, and your director, she explained some of the traits that some our 3 students had. So let's go. communication, they may be non-speaking. And we put non-speaking or non-verbal because communication is not just about what comes out of your mouth. There are people who are deaf and mute who use, what do they use to communicate? Hand motions, right? It's called, what is that called? Body language, okay, sign language, right? We have the American Sign Language, like all the different nations have different languages, but in hand motions, right? So just because they are not speaking does not mean they're not communicating. Pointing is a form of communication, okay? You know, pointing, I'm hungry, I'm thirsty. Pointing is a very, very big factor of a big way of communicating, okay? Speaking may be difficult. Echolalia, there's a new fancy word for you. Echolalia, I think Lucas may be echolalic because he repeats himself. I'm gonna use Jeremy a lot because Jeremy is, Jeremy, pretend Jeremy's here, okay? Jeremy, do you wanna eat? Do you wanna eat? Jeremy, do you wanna go to sleep? Do you wanna go to sleep? He doesn't answer back to me. He doesn't answer my questions, right? He'll just repeat the question over and over again. So that's something called echolalia, okay? And another communication of neurodivergent trait is eye contact. Eye contact may be very difficult. Like I'm looking at all of you, eye to eye, right? But Jeremy has a very difficult time having eye contact, okay? So any of this, don't be offended, okay? These are just some of who they are. Here's some sensory. Max is, I think it was Max, or was it Cooper? He's very sensitive to the sound, right? So sensitivity to light, sensitivity to sound, touch, and smells. Oliver, my little one, he doesn't like to be touched sometimes. I'm like, give me a hug. He'll just run away. Or it might, you know, like somebody like touches you, and some of you may feel like goosebumps are like, ugh, you know? Well, for people who are neurodivergent, that feeling might be 1,000 times, you know, goosebumps. I don't want you to touch me, okay? So that's how they might feel. So everything people who are neurodivergent, when we say sensitivity to all of this, it means they're ultra, like it's 1,000 times worse for them than for a neurotypical person. So mealtime can be challenging for people with autism because they're very picky. My son, Jeremy, he's 13, I keep saying that. When he was 2.5, all he ate was water and rice. Can you imagine eating water and rice? Who likes kalbi here? Only you? Nobody else? Okay, everybody. We all love kalbi, right? Jeremy did not eat that wonderful kalbi. He only ate water and rice. Now, it took a very long journey, but now he's eating everything, like broccoli and Brussels sprouts. Who eats Brussels sprouts? Okay, let's go to the next one. Next one, yeah. Then they very hyper focus on their interest. You know, they might like one thing. My Jeremy loves animals, so he will only focus on he loves all the animals in English. He loves all the animals, like he'll know it both in English and Korean, and he doesn't speak Korean, you know, but he knows all the animals because that's how focused they are. I have another student in our school. My kids go to a special ed school. There's about 900 students. I have another student there who is autistic. He must be a pilot, so he knows all the, how old is he, 12 years old. He knows all the airplanes, models, the dates they were, when they crashed,
Wow.
When they were built, how many people were there, every little detail. And another student who knows everyone's birthday. He'll come up to you and say, what's your name? What's your birthday? Well, he doesn't say it with that kind of attitude, but he'll say, and then he'll remember it. It's just there. They just have different ways of thinking, different ways of compartmentalizing. forget it, I'm gonna have a hard time saying that. But they have like these file cabinets in their head, and it's just different ways of processing, okay? So, let's go the next, okay. Some other traits and behaviors, and this is really important to know, elopement or bolting. Some children with autism might bolt or elopement, meaning they might be here, and my Oliver doesn't. They'll just run out. They'll just run out, and they're really quick, so you have to stay focused. Meaning, like when you're there, I think some of the teachers said, stay focused, stay off your phones, because they may be calm at one point, but they'll change like that right away, and then it's too late. They're out of the room, they're out of there. I had my kids run out into the streets many times, and they're strong, okay? So that's why you just need to stay focused on them and just watch what they do, okay? Stimming, does anybody know what stimming is? So people with autism have stimming. One big one is flapping. They do a lot of this, okay? That's stimming. Stimming is something very repetitive, physical, like repetitive. So that's one way. Some of them tippy-toe. They tippy-toe. This is one way of walking. This is another trait of autism. They have very heightened anxiety. You guys are all relaxed now. You're comfortable here, and the kids may come in. They're really comfortable, but they might have, all of a sudden, they might have this anxiety because they're not in their comfort zone. So they have difficulty with focusing or staying still. They have difficulty with social cues. They have difficulty with social interactions. Like Jeremy, how are you? Good. How was your day today?
So far,
Yeah. How's school?
decent.
This is a normal social interaction. But if I talk to my Jeremy, you're my favorite right now. But if I talk to my Jeremy, how's your day? How's your day? Jeremy, are you hungry? Are you hungry? That may be it. Or there's no communication. They're just ignoring you because I don't care about you. Are you going to be offended?
No.
Are we going to be offended?
No.
No. It's just who they are, okay? And they're unable to process their emotions in acceptable ways, resulting in behavior such as verbal or physical outbursts. So my Ashton, he's very verbal. He will talk about everything about the Titanic, everything about, who is it? The puppet, Sesame Street puppet maker, Jim Henson. He'll talk about everything, the day he was born, the day he died, all the accomplishments he made. But when you play a game and he loses, he'll just flip everything over and he'll like, oh my God, it's the end of the world for him. It's like, this is the end times kind of thing. So what are you gonna do? Are you going to, Ashton, what's wrong with you? No, we're going to stay calm. Oh, Jeremy, thank you. I should start remembering everyone's names here. Yes, so we stay calm, because we are the neurotypicals, right?